Welcome to the Ananda podcast. I'm Sammi.
And I'm Dylan. If you are on a journey to becoming the best version of yourself,
and you want to create a life beyond your wildest dreams, you're in the right place.
Let's dive in.
Welcome back to the Ananda podcast, everyone. It's 2026. Yay! New year, new you is what everyone always says. But we're going to do next year, next you. Because I feel like it can be overwhelming to feel like you have to completely reinvent yourself into this new version. But it's easier to take little steps to create the next version. That's kind of how I always see my goals and aspirations and shifts. It's like you're always just evolving a little bit. You're always learning and growing just a little bit. And so it's this next version. I always called it like Sammi 2.0 and then Sammi 3.0 and then Sammi a million point oh is kind of where we're at now after completely reinventing and rediscovering and growing myself so much over our decades. And so, this to me is like the next version.
Yeah.
The old version is just as good. It's just as worthy. But what's the next version? Yeah, it's like you don't need to be new. You just
need to be you.
You
don't need to be new. You just need to be you.
Yeah.
Put that on a cereal box.
There you go. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that maturity is realizing that you don't have to be perfect. You're looking for progress, no matter how small.
Yeah.
You celebrate the progress. I know for me, I'm a perfectionist, and I am an all or nothing sort of personality.
You are, yeah.
So I've always been the person. It's like, oh, this is going to be the year. I'm going to be, so successful. I'm going to have the best body ever. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do everything. And then come February, I'm trailing off, and I'm like, oh, I knew I couldn't do it.
But look at you. You've achieved all of those things. You should be so proud of yourself.
But the thing is thanks, babe. The thing is, though, is that the only time that I've really found significant progress in my life is when I took the pressure off and focused every day on just being a little bit better.
Yeah.
And just being more myself. It's like you don't have to become something you're not. I think life is really about uncovering who you are. Mm-hmm. So it's not taking who you are and like being something better or being something that you're not. It's like this constant unfoldment of learning, discovering who you truly are.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that was a more wholesome process for me. Everybody's personalities are different. So it's like one person you could say, yeah, you need to be more disciplined. Yeah, you need to go in there and make yourself like, I'm going to do this every single day. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to do reach outs for my business, whatever that is. Some people need that.
Yeah.
Other people need the exact opposite.
Some people need to rest and just flow and just let go of all the control and all the perfection and just vibe with where they're at. And for me, I feel like one of the most transformative shifts in my mindset was instead of feeling like I'm not enough, like I feel like that's sometimes where the resolutions come from is I'm not enough right now. So next year I have to resolve these issues with me or my life. I have to find solutions. I have to have resolutions, right, to the problem.
Yeah.
But you're not the problem.
You are not a problem.
Exactly. It's like you've been through what you've been through, which has made you who you are today. Mm-hmm. And when you can accept who you are today fully, totally imperfect, I love myself exactly where I am. I accept myself exactly where I am today.
Yeah.
I don't need to have anything else or be anything else or achieve anything else to be more worthy and more accepted than I accept myself today.
Yeah.
And then you feel whole. It's like, I'm not looking for validation. I'm not looking for something outside myself to complete me. I'm not looking for approval. I'm just accepting me right now. And then from there, okay, now that I'm whole again, now that I've created wholeness within myself, because you're the only one who can, who do I want to become next?
Yeah.
Not that I need to be completely something different. Who's this next version of me that is ready to express themselves?
Well, and asking yourself, what kind of life experience do I want? Yeah. What kind of life experience do I want? That's something that I've been asking myself more. It's like, do I want the life experience of getting pissed off in the morning over this small thing and letting my day cascade and then I'm in a bad mood? Or do I want to have the life experience of letting things roll off my shoulders? Asking yourself that simple questions throughout the day of, what kind of person do I want to be? What kind of life experience do I want to have? And it's those little choices. Like, it's not these huge choices that change your life necessarily. and like for me as a person who is very perfectionist, always trying to control my outcomes, I've actually kind of stopped setting goals. It's like now I kind of hold things loosely, like, oh, that'd be interesting, that'd be cool. But I've come more into the present moment, and I'm more curious about what is possible rather than saying, oh, I need to hit this by this date, and if I don't do that, then I failed.
Right.
Because that was actually the self-sabotage pattern for me, was setting an unrealistic goal, not doing what I actually needed to do to achieve it, just hoping that I could create it somehow by just like wishing for it or manifesting it or writing it in my notebook.
Yeah.
And then when I inevitably didn't hit that goal, I would say, see, I told you, you can't do it.
I'm not enough.
Yeah. You never do what you say you're going to do. And then it's like this negative self-talk around and around and around and around. And it's self-sabotage, because somewhere, at least for me, it was self-love. And it was sort of like, I wanted to do these things in life, but I didn't really have the self-worth, the self-love, or I was afraid of condemnation or judgment. Even the podcast, it's like insecurities I had, because I wanted to do a podcast for like the past 10 years. And I had insecurities and fears. And it's like, well, subconsciously you're sabotaging it, so you don't really have to look at why you're not doing it, right? And then I finally got to the point where I'm just like, you know what, come what may.
Yeah.
Becoming comfortable with, failing possibly, or being judged, or being, the things that accepting the things that used to scare me. And it's like when you face fear, it kind of falls away.
Yeah.
Now I'm ranting. Now I'm just trailing off into something completely unrelated.
No, I love it though.
But
I think that's so true.
Because the whole thing, like with the whole like New Year's resolution, a lot of it has to do with like self-worth and self-sabotage. It's like you're trying to overcome patterns that have held you back. That's really what it is, right? And we're using the new year as like a
blank slate.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
It's totally.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of psychology that goes into it.
Yeah. So I guess what we could try to give people today is like how to actually resolve the underlying psychology. And what you said totally ties into what I said of it's when you love yourself. It was the self-love journey that shifted it for you to be able to actually move forward in the way that you always wanted to, because subconsciously you're holding yourself back before that with I'm not enough, and therefore I'm gonna be like have a self-fulfilling prophecy because I'm gonna act on my belief about myself, this is what it all comes down to, is to create a lasting resolution or revolution of yourself, or next version of you, you 2.0, is to actually shift the identity, who you believe you are. Yeah. That is what's going to guide your entire life. It's not going to be, I wrote down this goal. That's great. You should totally write down your goals. Apparently, you should write them in blue. I just saw a podcast about. I don't know if that's true. Apparently, you should write them in blue on white paper.
I like purple. Purple's a nice color.
Versus black. I don't know. But anyways, it's about who do I believe I am? That's going to guide the actual shifts. And then again, coming from a place of lack of I need to do these things in order to be successful, or in order to be worthy, or in order to be lovable and finally find that person I'm looking for, or whatever it may be. It's all these things outside of you that we think are going to make us happy that don't. Yes. Instead of I'm now whole and I'm going to pursue this next version.
Sorry, guys. Sorry. Better?
To pursue this next version of myself, I'm coming from a place of wholeness versus coming from I'm not enough. And now I can see all these things that I didn't see before because it's not through that lens that you spoke about of I'm not enough right now.
So let me give an example that's a little bit relatable, because when you talk about New Year's resolutions, a lot of people are thinking about fitness, or losing weight, or maybe gaining muscle, or whatever, right?
Or making money.
Money. But I'm going to go for my experience for fitness.
Okay.
Right. So, and I'm a type A personality. I tend to try to control things. I'm in my head. I'm a bit neurotic sometimes. So this is for this personality type. Like fitness has been a huge part of my life. And And I always had these goals. Like I wanted to be a certain weight or a certain body fat. And like for years I was like grinding for it, trying to get there. Nothing. Like I could not reach this goal no matter what I tried. And finally, I just give it up. I'm like, screw it. Like I'm done with this. I'm done with this pie in the sky mentality of like
why
trying to do this. And I'm just like, I'm just going to go have fun. Like I'm just going to go into the gym.
Yeah.
I'm just going to have fun. Like I'm just going to be curious about what's possible. Instead of saying I need to get to this or I failed, I'm just going to go in there with no expectation. I'm not going to go through the motions. I'm going to go in there with no expectation and try to have fun. And sure enough, within like 3 weeks, I was there.
Yeah.
Lifting
the heaviest you've lifted and all that stuff.
Yeah. But even, when I started working out, I was like 14 and I had never, ever, ever considered going to a gym my entire life. It never crossed my mind. I was the skinniest kid in class. It was nothing. I mean, it just wasn't relevant to me. And I sort of just woke up one day and I was like,
I'm going to get fit.
I think I'm going to go to the gym today. No, it wasn't even I'm going to get fit. It was like, I think I'm just going to go to the gym today. I told my mom. She was like, what? And so I ride my bike to the gym. She gets me a membership. I'm like, all right, that was cool. Ride home. Next day I wake up. I think I'm going to go to the gym today. No expectation around it. Not like, like I'm getting bullied. I need to get bigger. Like all this stuff. It was just like, I think I'm just going to go to the gym today. Just like doing the action. And then as I was taking one action at a time, sure enough, that progress built up. But kind of the lesson that I learned from that was, sometimes just taking the first step and taking the next step and taking the next step and being in the present moment rather than trying to map out your whole progression and try to control it or figure it out ahead of time. Sometimes that is the best strategy. Like, okay, January 1st, I'm going to work out every single day for 15 minutes. Okay. Instead of saying, oh, well, I want to lose 30 pounds by March 17th. It's like, no, just do the thing, do it every day with intention and let go of the results. Just trust the process. Don't overthink it, because as soon as you get in your own head, it's like, if I go to the gym, people are going to judge me and then I'm going to embarrass myself. And you start creating these stories in your own mind.
And the self-sabotage.
Right? Self-sabotage. Exactly.
Yeah.
So
it's interesting because I feel like probably it comes down to different people's personalities and psychologies of, and you could, I'm sure a lot of people are going to say human design and astrological sign and all that. It's going to come down to all these different things about what makes a person unique, of how that works for them.
Yeah.
But clearly for you, you've found the way that, okay, if I set these goals, I'm usually setting goals that are too high for where my mindset around what I can achieve and do and what I'm worthy of can meet up. And so, and I actually put more pressure on myself and make it harder on myself.
Well, stress.
And self-sabotage and put more, and add stress into my life, which is not following my bliss, which doesn't equal my goal.
Exactly. And even like, it's all about pattern recognition. You need to understand yourself. Human, know thyself, right?
Yeah.
It's like, I remember in sports, the first couple of weeks, I was always the best player on the team until the coaches started saying, oh, he's like the best player on the team. And then I was suddenly get into my own head and I was like one of the worst players on the team.
Yeah.
Right. And so I started noticing this pattern of like, as soon as you get out of this creative energy, as soon as you start contracting, as soon as you start getting in your head, it's like, game over. So I needed to learn how to flow. I'm still learning how to flow.
Yeah. But then other people who are
too
high in the sky, too flowy,
exactly.
They need structure and they need to write down their goals and they need to have a plan. And so it's interesting because it's like one way is not necessarily right for everybody.
Two things can be true. You said that last year and it was really kind of profound for me. You said two things can be true.
Yeah. And it's true.
Yeah.
And so I guess it's figuring out, number one, how can you accept yourself where you are while still choosing to grow and expand and become this next version of you, while feeling like I'm enough right now, coming from wholeness versus lack. And then also figuring out what is the most supportive way that I can do that creates more bliss and less stress and actually helps me to see it through.
Yeah.
And I think that for some people, it's like they need to look at the end result and, and have the plan and do the actions every day. And for some people, they need to let go of the end result and just show up every day and not care and be detached from the end result. And so I don't think there's really a right or a wrong way. It's just figuring out what works for you.
Right.
In this phase of your life too. But maybe even people don't even realize that there is different ways, because 43% of people quit their New Year's resolutions by the end of January.
Really?
So if you think about that, and again, I think it's like the whole, we feel like we have this fresh start. It's like a Monday or a new month. Like we feel like we have a fresh start, a whole new year. Wow, I have this fresh start. And I think that's so good.
It is good
to have these intentions. Intention is everything. But again, like even just us talking about this, the word resolution, it's like you're fixing a problem.
Right.
And so instead of fixing a problem, why don't we just expand and grow and have fun doing it?
That's kind of our mindset going into this year. Like we've had a transformative 2025.
Yeah.
And we were sitting down last night and we were just talking. I'm like, kids are downstairs playing. They're making a Barbie movie or something with their iPad. And I'm like, all right, let's just sit down and talk. Let's talk about this past year. Let's communicate. Let's see, what our thoughts are. And, it was such a great conversation. It's one of my favorite parts about our friendship and our relationship. But I feel like for me, kind of my thoughts going into 2026 is just this curiosity, Like I'm really excited. I don't know what the future holds. Like if you told me at the end of 2024, in the beginning of 2025, where we're struggling, and it seems like everything is falling apart, that
where we would be by the end of this year,
that the falling apart was actually the coming together of something new and so much better.
Yeah,
I would never have believed you. I might have said okay, but I wouldn't have believed you because it seems so far off. So much can change in a year. And for 2026, like I'm just in this innocence, this like childlike mindset of what is possible. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like we could have tremendous challenges in 2026. We could have tremendous expansion. Could be both.
Yeah.
But I'm just curious to see what it's like.
And just in showing up in resilience to whatever comes.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to make the most of it.
And like, I think this is also a broader storyline of letting go of these shoulds of what life should be, right? Life is a gift, and each one of us, we're in our situation right now because, we have attracted these circumstances into our life because they're lessons for our growth. And, at a certain point in childhood, the world gets to us and we stop playing with life. And we start thinking that there's some destination that we have to reach, and everything that we do in our life has to, get to that destination, lead to that destination. And we lose that childlike innocence, and we lose that curiosity and that creativity of playing with life. And I think that's really what we're meant to come back to, And I think that's where the magic happens. That's where the miracles happen. That's where the transformation happens, is when we start playing with life rather than taking ourselves and our life and our traumas and our difficulties so seriously. It's like the more seriously we take these things, not that it's not important, but sometimes it begins to define us rather than becoming a stepping stone for our growth.
Yeah. I love that.
We're going everywhere in this podcast.
I love it. But you know what? It is literally the definition of follow your bliss.
Right.
Like that was something that we've been shifting over the past 3 years since starting Ananda, is what are we doing to follow our bliss? And when something starts to feel stressful and rigid and like we have to control and restrict, we know that's not the bliss. That's not the path of bliss. Now, the same thing might end up happening. You might still go down the same path, but it's the energy that you choose and the intention that you set that can lead to a completely different outcome,
right,
or a completely different path. And when you're talking about being in this childlike innocence and in curiosity, to me, that is following your bliss, because the curiosity that you're going to follow is the one that feels the best in your body, right?
Yeah.
When you have that gut feeling, when you have that that hesitation or that pit in your stomach, that's not where your curiosity is leading that's not where your bliss is leading you. It's to the thing that feels like exciting, and to the thing that feels expansive and maybe still difficult. Maybe it's making you reflect on yourself. Maybe it's making you look in the mirror, which is not comfortable.
Yeah.
But when you do that, you can actually overcome a pattern that might have been holding you back your entire life or for decades, where you're writing down the same goal every year and you're not getting to it. It's because there's a deeper underlying belief system that you have to reconstruct. And usually that comes with this journey of self-love and acceptance of, you know, not needing all these things outside of yourself. And again, if your list of goals is, I want to have this car and this house and this partner and look like this, and those are all external goals, and those are not bad, but what people eventually learn is they don't actually make you happy for that long.
No.
You have a little upburst of dopamine, and then that's your new normal.
And sometimes you have to get it.
You're always needing to fill that dopamine spiral with something else.
Yeah.
And that can turn into really toxic patterns or behaviors that never fulfill you.
Right.
And what we're really looking for, all of us, is to be loved and accepted right now.
We're looking for wholeness. We're looking for meaning.
And purpose.
Yeah. I feel like I kind of made myself grow up too quickly. I lost that sense of playfulness really, really young. Maybe it was because I was overly playful, and, you know, the criticism comes from adults or peers. And I shut that part off of myself, and it caused me to have this sense of unworthiness. You know, I lost that sense of self-worth, and I was constantly questioning myself. And I've spent the past 15 years unraveling that, probably the past 10, really consciously unraveling that. And it's not an easy journey, and I think that we all have to go through that process, because nobody's parents are perfect. Nobody's world is perfect. We live in an imperfect world, and it's not easy to keep your sense of joy through life with all the challenges that it brings, but that's really what life is calling us to do. And I think that talking about the new year and this sense of new, fresh hope, a new, clean slate, we overcomplicate it sometimes. Yeah. You know? And it's really about just coming back to who you truly are. And that's the journey. It's like you can go on a journey of 1,000 miles, and at the end you kind of find yourself right where you started. Like The Alchemist. Yeah.
I love that book. Yeah, 100%. I feel like what I would love to set as an intention for all the listeners, and if it resonates with you, you can take it, is make 2026 your year of bliss. Yeah. And that's the challenge is, okay, number one, how can I find a way to fully love and accept myself? How can I focus on intentions that are internal and things that you can control versus trying to, get all of these things that are outside of you? Because the thing is that once you have that alignment within yourself, you can manifest and attract things so much easier. They just flow to you because you're in the frequency and the alignment of the things that you desire. But when you're in the frequency of lack and not enoughness and you're trying to get all these things, you're never going to attract them because you're not on the same frequency of joy and bliss. But when you're on the frequency of joy and bliss, you attract all the things that you want anyways, because that's the highest frequency. That's the whole point of Follow Your Bliss, is that it's the highest state of being. And you don't go to bliss to get things. You go to bliss because that's who you truly are, is this being of love and light and energy that is overflowing and impacting those around you in this positive way. Like, that is the best version of all of us.
Well, and I want to maybe reframe something with people. It's like, if you're feeling tension, that is you actively holding back everything that you want in your life. The tension that you feel, imagine you're trying to close a door, right? And maybe there's like a huge blizzard on the other end. It's like really pushing back the door. That tension that you feel is the strain from you holding that door shut, right? And what's on the other side of that door is wholeness, joy, creativity. Like, for me, what takes me out of that is my expectations for what my bank account should look like, what my body should look like, how other people are, that's something like, oh, this person's doing this, or this person has this mindset. That drives me crazy.
Or this is what this person should do with their life. We spend so much time, or a lot of people spend so much time talking about and thinking about how other people should live their own lives.
Right.
But again, what do we all want? We all want to feel accepted and loved exactly where we are right now from the people that we care about most. Our parents, our partners, our kids. We want to feel like we're a good parent. We just want to feel like our kids love us even though we're imperfect. We want to feel like our parents love us even though maybe we didn't fulfill the picture they had for us. We just want to feel like we're enough. That's all we all want. And when we can give ourselves that, because we can, we're the only ones that can. You're never going to make everybody else happy, right? Yeah. But the more that we can, number one, accept ourselves where we're at, and then do the same thing for others of like, I'm going to understand where you've been, and I'm going to just like breathe life into you and hold the highest vision of who you are and let you live your life without judging you and without thinking you should do something differently. Yeah. Like, that's what we want. Why wouldn't we give that to others? We want that so badly, and that yet we're doing the opposite for everybody else. Like, just that simple realization of this year, I'm not going to judge people as much. I'm not going to judge myself as much. I'm not going to have all these expectations. I'm going to trade my expectations for appreciation, as Tony Robbins always says, right? I'm going to focus on gratitude this year. I'm going to focus on making it a priority, the things that make me feel happy and feel joy. I'm going to find those moments of bliss, and I'm just going to sit in them and revel in them and be present.
Yeah, well, change requires consciousness. You know, it's like what we do when we form habits is we create these neural pathways in the brain. And every time we repeat that pattern, the neural pathway becomes stronger and stronger and stronger. And it forms like a part of our subconscious, right? And so if you look at most people, 90% of their day is spent unconsciously repeating the same patterns over and over and over again. Right. The only way to really change is through consciousness. We are consciousness.
Which is intention. That's where intention comes from.
And so what's really hard, especially with our cell phones, with all of our distractions, you know, it's like money, with all the things, all the stressors that we have to deal with, it puts us in fight or flight, which means when we're in fight or flight, we're in survival. So we go back to what we know, which is the old safe pattern where we know if we react this way, if we have this mindset, if we do this, it may not be the best, but at least we know what we're going to get. At least it's not the unknown, because when we're in fight or flight, when we're stressed, the unknown is terrifying. We aren't in rest and digest. We aren't in creative energy. We aren't looking to invent things or create things or get out of our comfort zone. We're trying to survive, right? Hide from the cave lion. That's what we're in. Mm-hmm. And so bringing consciousness into our everyday life is a new habit that is really, really important to establish. And it's something I've been working on a lot. Because the only way we can change is to be in the middle of like getting ready to yell at your spouse or reacting to something that this person said or reading a news article. And all of a sudden you create that separation where the conscious the consciousness that you are stepping away from the pattern and realizing that it's not you, even if it's for a moment. Like, I don't know, like if you're listening to this or watching it, if you've ever been like really pissed off about something, like, trying to give an example personally. Nothing's coming to me, but like you're in a really heightened emotional state and all of a sudden something just clicks and like you're outside of it.
That happens to me a lot with our kids where I want to get so mad. Right. I want to like scream. And then I'm like, oh my God, this is this lovely little being that I love so much.
Something just so happens sweet. And you're like, oh.
You're like, oh, they need love.
Yeah.
They need me to demonstrate that I can regulate my emotions because they're not being able to regulate their emotions because they haven't learned and I haven't learned. And so I'm having to learn right now in this moment by choosing to sit down and look at you in the eyes and say, I love you. It's okay. Let's have a hug.
Right.
Like instead of exploding.
Like the other day, you know, we had a little spat in the morning, which doesn't happen very often. And I was all grumpy and I'm like driving to the gym and I'm like, oh, you know, I'm going to listen to some intense music to get myself fired up for the gym because I'm mad at Samantha. And like, there's just this moment where like, I stepped back and I'm like, do I really want to choose this path for my day?
Yeah.
And I was like, do I really want to like be all in on being this pissed off?
Yeah.
And I was like, no, but I'm still going to act like I am. So I drive to the gym. I drive to the gym. I'm like using it as fuel. I'm like, yeah, you know? And then like you're texting me and like we're having a little conversation. And at one point I'm just like, all right, listen, like enough.
I'm letting it go.
I'm letting it go. You know, I'm going to step away from this energy and I'm going to choose a new path.
Yeah.
You know?
And I said, fine, I'll let it go too.
Yeah. And the rest of the day was like,
said,
it never happened.
I love you. And you said, I love you too. And then it was fine.
It was done. But I don't, you know, it's like nobody's perfect. Every single person on this planet, like nobody's perfect. Right.
Yeah.
And so I think really the path of growth and, you know, going to January is like try to create more space between your patterns and your conscious awareness.
Yeah. And also realize that when you set those intentions of next me, of you 2.0, like what I would do is I would write Sammi 2.0, 2026. And then I would write, I am calm more often. I am going to choose to be calm with my kids. I'm going to choose to hug my kids when I feel like yelling at them. I'm going to choose to believe in myself. I'm going to choose to put my phone down more and be present with my family. I'm going to choose to do things that bring me joy just because and not have to explain it to anybody. I'm going to choose to have more self-care, whatever that looks like. I'm going to, you know, it's like setting those intentions of this next version of you. Yeah. I'm confident. I'm a confident business person. I'm, you know, whatever it may be for you. Like, I make it a priority to add health to my body through nutritious food most of the time. I'm going to also enjoy food that I like that's maybe not so nutritious. It's like always a balance, right? It's like what's coming from self-love, what's coming from I'm enough and I'm going to do this to better myself, not because I need to restrict or not because I'm not enough or not because I need to change in order to be worthy. It's always from because I love myself, I'm going to go to the gym more often this year, or I'm going to do yoga, or I'm going to, because it makes me feel happy after, even though I don't feel like doing it at the beginning.
Right.
And it's just choosing it from that place of self-love, setting those intentions of this next version of me. And it can be as detailed, like you're saying, as in these situations, this is how I want to show up as this next version of me. And you're not going to be perfect. But also realizing that when you start to shift into this next version, it's going to feel weird and uncomfortable because you've practiced the patterns of who you are for so long that when you start to show up differently, it might feel like this doesn't feel like me. And that's the old self that's trying to cling to what's comfortable. And so it's okay that it doesn't feel normal, and it's okay that it doesn't feel like who you've been, because it's just the old pattern trying not to die. Yeah. And to be okay with creating a new pattern to replace it. And even though it feels uncomfortable, it's again consciously choosing the intention of the next version of you and consciously choosing to follow your bliss more often. And I think that's really what we want to leave people with. So that's my intention for 2026. And I hope that everyone could get something inspiring out of
our
this
rambling.
Rant.
We just sit down. We're like, all right, what are we going to talk about?
Rant about it. Yeah. But you know, I feel like we've had to reinvent ourselves. We've had to create a lot of resilience, and we've learned a lot about mindset and, you know, intention and identity, shifting your identity. What you believe about yourself is really how you make that lasting change. If you believe you're a person who always does the right thing, you're going to show up as the person who always does the right thing, even when it's hard. Yeah. You know, if you call yourself a smoker, you're going to go smoke. Yeah. If you call yourself a smoker trying to quit, you're going to be trying to quit forever. And until you define yourself as a non-smoker, it's just easy to say, I don't smoke when someone asks you. You know, that's like a good way. I've never smoked, but like that's a good way to understand identity and how powerful identity is. It's what you believe about yourself. How you believe you are as a person is how you're going to show up in your life. So
for sure,
shift your identity, shift what you believe about yourself, come from a place of wholeness, follow your bliss more, and set intentions that feel good and that come from a place of self-love. And I think that's all really good ways to start 2026.
Yeah, listen, and like we're going to be here with you every step of the way, talking about our experience, what we go through in 2026. I'm sure there's going to be lots of challenges, maybe a few victories. We'll see what happens. Knock on wood. But we're just grateful to be along here for the ride with you guys.
And Happy New Year, everyone.
Yeah, and feel free, if you're listening to this or you're watching it, if you have any questions for us, like shoot us a message.
Drop them in the comments.
Message
us on Instagram or YouTube or wherever.
For sure.
All the things.
We're not psychologists, but we're happy to be here and connect with anyone who finds value. So
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Thank you so much for listening. If this episode inspired you or made you think of someone, please send it their way. We would love for it to help them too, and it really helps the podcast. Follow along at Ananda Elixirs on social media. We can't wait to connect with you.